Hello, it's Emma Mills here, and of course Ralph, and welcome to another episode of the MiTV interviews. So today I am so happy to have with me a guest. This is Ali Nowroozi of a company called Avakino. We met probably about 18 months ago, and Ali's had his business. He started it just over a year, and Ali has achieved so much in his business in the space of 1 year. He was just somebody that I wanted to get onto the episode to interview, to find out how he's done it, what tips he has for business owners who are maybe on their own, one-man bands, who are struggling and looking to get to the next step, and how you do that. So Ali, can you just give the viewers like an overview of what Avakino does and what products it provides, please?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me. Today is a privilege to be here, obviously, with yourself. My name is Ali Nowroozi. I am a founder of a company, Avakino. As you know, we established, we met 18 months ago, but we really started do our business from November 2016, so just a year ago.
Okay.
We make headwear for people with hair loss. When they go through hair loss due to cancer or because of alopecia. And the name of our brand is called Masumi Headwear. So that's what we do. So I could carry on tell you about our company if you wish. Our company only established since November 2016, as I mentioned, but since then so much things has happened. Of course, as you know, we are now a supplier to some of the biggest hospitals in the UK. So we work in collaboration with the Christie's Hospital, which is a very well-respected hospital, cancer research center. We work on a collaboration with the Teenage Cancer Trust.
Okay.
So we distribute our headwear to countries such as Denmark and Sweden and Ireland, or even our headwear being worn now in New York, USA. And that's only a space of a year, which is incredible.
Oh my gosh.
We couldn't believe that it's all happened so quickly, but the response has been very well. So
in Avakino then, in terms of actual employees, there is you. Are there any other employees in the business at the moment?
So we got our interns, which work with us from
so you've got
Salford.
interns.
Yes, so we got from Salford University. I work very closely because I'm a postgraduate student from Salford University. So I am call me alumni member, and I am very much in touch with the university. So I work very closely with their and I do a collaboration with them, and we got a internship program which they do with Santander Bank.
Okay.
And what we do, basically, we take on interns, whatever the requirements are, for example, based on our business. So it's a knowledge transfer. So we teach them what we do, and we learn from them. And of course, with our great team at MiPA. So we're not alone. We always, when I talk to people at MiPA, I call them as my team. So it's very important to have that relationship. So yes, so that's how I work.
Okay, so because you've had so much growth, you're dealing with like really prestigious customers as well, aren't you?
Yes.
So there is you in the business. You've got your interns, and what kind of work are they doing? Is it like sales and marketing work?
Yes. So different depending on the. It depends. Different. So for example, I had requirements. I needed someone who's very good at doing designs and and marketing. So I had an intern doing that. I do a lot of our design work, and we got another intern who actually goes out and see customers.
Okay.
So she's actually very good. Yes, it's development. So I teach them. I go out and show them. I introduce them to my customers, and she's very good at what she does.
Wow.
She actually ended up modeling for us for our teenage cancer. Yeah. So she actually we wanted to create a collection for teenagers, and we thought we asked her if she likes to do modeling for that. For wearing our headwear, and she was fantastic. So she's even on our catalog, cover on our catalog for Teenage Cancer Trust. So then we had another lady who does a lot of work with respect to the pay-per-click campaign, Google AdWords and things like that. So she's a student, but she has got great knowledge, and while she's studying, she's basically learning and doing things with us. So
fantastic.
And now we are actually in process of getting more interns.
Oh really?
Which is
it's working that well for you.
Yes, it's a fantastic program. So
Because I don't think that a lot of business owners will know necessarily that you can use that, use that solution to get interns into the business. Because obviously, I mean, you're only in your first year of business, and yet you've instantly grasped the leverage in your time. So you've got people doing sales and marketing, business development.
Yes. Yes.
You've got my team answering calls, fulfilling orders, things like that, taking details, taking payments.
Absolutely.
So in your first year, obviously one of your priorities has been to get that team around you.
Yes, absolutely. So obviously the most important thing, as you know, with every business is, we are all good at something ourselves. I knew exactly what we needed to create. I created something amazing. I mean, I am proud to say that, because the response is incredible. People are reordering. People are on social media talking about our products, and our Masumi Headwear is something which is people respect now and talk highly as a high-end product.
Okay.
Now I knew to create that. I knew how to create a brand, and I knew how to basically approach the people who I need. So I knew what the requirements is, because I've had the expertise in the industry for 15 years. I used to work for a company which we were distributing wigs. So, but so much knowledge you may have and so much time you have for yourself. There is not, and if you want to expand and you want to do a lot of good work, you need to have those expertise and those, extra help with you in that journey. Of course, with your team, MiPA, they were amazing at, giving that professional service of answering our calls and being that front face. I had patients from Christie's Hospital telling me how grateful they were, because they understood the needs of my patients, to be patient, to take their time to talk to them, because they are very emotional. They go through a very difficult time. And we sat together, and we had the meeting with the team. I made sure that they understand the culture of the business, and that's what we show to our patients. So obviously we had all that, and of course, everyone else who helping us in this journey, they have got their knowledge and expertise, and which I don't have, and you need to try to see those expertise and knowledge and try to make a use out of it, instead of go and do everything yourself, because it's impossible, doing everything yourself. So that's how I think been a great help.
It's so cool that you're doing that in the first year, because normally people will just max themselves out, time-wise, get super stressed, try and do everything, and then try and patch over, whereas you've kind of set the team from the beginning, and it's showing in how your business is growing as well.
Yes, it is. You mentioned stress. It is very stressful, especially when you start your own business. I have had a lot of sleepless nights. It's truly true. It becomes very difficult at some stages. Some stages are better, but every entrepreneur, anyone who does this business, who understand that they go through the same journey. I mean, there is nobody who's an entrepreneur or starting their own business come and say, "Oh, I created this amazing brand, or I made a lot of money and because of the luck." It's a lot of hard work. So, and you need to really be smart, and you need to always change directions, because if you stay in one direction and try to always do what you think is right, is wrong, because you never know. So many things changes every day, and you have to try to adapt to the situation. So I've learned that as I go so many times already in this 1 year. So, and I'm sure you agree, and you've done that yourself for your business. So it's all about being able to adapt to the situation.
Definitely.
And try to make the most out of every opportunity you get, and work hard. I think it comes down to
there's no replacement for that, is there?
No, there's a lot of work hard, and you need to have a good team to understand that your reward will come at the end if you work hard, and your focus is to try to do something good, and to not lose the focus on what your goal is, whatever the goal is. For me, it was to create something amazing, try to help people, and my motivation was that. So
I love that. That's an amazing goal to have.
Yes, it was truly was the case. I never had my motivation as, of course, making money is a lot of is a goal for many of us as a businessmen and entrepreneurs. But at the end of the day, for me, I thought that if you create something good, if you do something, and you have your focus on everything else on the side, of course, you are able to achieve, because the consumer end of the day will follow. Yes. So yes. exactly. You said it right. Yes.
So
yes,
you
yes.
have achieved so much in the first year. It's incredible. Is there
Thank you.
anything that
Thank you.
you might have done differently, or you look back now and think, oh, I wish I hadn't done that like that, or anything that you've learned that you would have changed, or?
Well, I mean, there is a lot of things. I mean, as I mentioned, I've already changed my direction of company. I mean, one example. When I started my company, I realized that my office is a product which is all around.
Yeah.
And I suddenly realized that when you have a product like this and you're basically selling it all around the world, you know, if you don't have your trademarks, you may have problems. So I then realized that, my goodness me, originally my brand was called Purity.
Okay.
And I realized I didn't register. Of course, when I wanted to register that brand, I realized somebody in Canada under the same category registered that.
Oh, really? Under the same category?
Under the same category. So, but they were not selling headwear. They were selling some, like, for example, clothing material, but they registered that category as well. You could go and challenge them, but it's not worth it because there's a lot of money you spend. So I had to rebrand my thing, and that was already, I was out there with the Purity.
Oh,
so I didn't know what to do. It was a very stressful time for me. So I spoke to some of my advisors. I work very closely with some organization called Business Growth Hub and Salford University. So they are great organizations. So I sat down and they suggested, of course, the best thing is, well, before it gets too late, change the name of the brand. And we were playing with names. Okay. And the name Masumi came. And Masumi actually in Japanese means beauty through purity.
Nice.
So it kind of because I had a lot of things, printed catalogs. I had a lot of packaging with the name Purity. So what we did, instead of repackage everything, we decided to embed the Masumi name in. So we called it Purity Headwear by Masumi, and slowly the Masumi took over, and we said Masumi Headwear Purity within, or Beauty through Purity. So that was a kind of interesting transformation from the name, you know, the branding, so Purity going to Masumi, and people now know us as Masumi Headwear. But that was a learning curve for me. I would have been studied more. But preparation, I think I would have I did quite well with preparation. Mm-hmm. Don't cut corners.
Yeah, because you came to see me about 6 months before you started the business, or even more than that, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it was like, I do that. I do go out and I sit down and try to understand what's out there available for me. So when you mentioned 6 months before we started business, we got to know each other through a friend, but it was by coincidence. But then I found out that you also work very closely with Business Growth Hub, which was really lovely to hear. So we sat down, we talked about what services you can offer to us, and then I could understand better. So preparation is very important. Yeah. I think I did well, but without preparation and going out there just for the sake of it, because you just want to go out and make money, is wrong, because you may have a lot of problems. Some people may disagree. People say don't waste time, just go out and do it. But I think, yes, be quick at it, but at the same time do your study and preparations.
Do it sensibly.
Sensibly, yes. So if I want to do anything differently now, I would say perhaps I would be more careful with how, I would suggest always be very careful with your finances, with regards to spending your money where and how. Yeah. For example, one of our things are we get a lot of stock in, so we need to make sure that at the beginning, especially because if you're a company that you are going to have a lot of stock in your company, you try to keep that to minimum.
Yeah, definitely.
At the beginning.
Otherwise, you just have stocks out there.
Yes.
And then I'm guessing you get new seasons coming out.
Yes. So because of our seasonal products. So now I've learned that, because we are doing it more in the kind of smaller stage instead of bringing everything together. So which is working really well. So that's you learn by experience. So you need to be careful. But we were very careful with our cash flow. We are very careful with our. And customer service is very important. Of course, the most important thing to make sure that your clients at the end of the day are happy. And that is the main focus for us. So yes, that's advice to go. And having a balance between life and work.
That's really hard though, isn't it? Especially when you first start. Well, actually, it's always hard.
It's very, very hard. It's very, very hard. But I was in one of these entrepreneur talks, and it was very interesting. The person who was this gentleman created Eventbrite, which is this application which you could organize events, and he's actually he's French and he's based in France, and he came to the UK and he had this conference, and he said one of the biggest advice it was for me, which was incredible. He was saying about that how much he was dedicating his time to his business, day and night. He didn't have any time, and he was married with his sweetheart, and they were very much in love. And after 2 years working hard day and night, not being able to spend his time as much as he could with his family, what happened then? Suddenly one day he comes home and he finds out his wife had cancer. Of course, exactly, and he said that story, and he said, if I want to tell you the biggest advice to everyone is that always remember, life is work hard, work damn hard, and try to do whatever you can to make the best out of what you're doing, but always have the balance that to enjoy life, friends and family around you, and try to keep that as somehow in that cloud you're in always with your work and so much sometimes stressful times and business growing, but try to have that balance, enjoy your children, enjoy your mom or dad or your wife or husband or whatever it is so that balance, and I always have that at the back of my mind somehow, and trying to make that as my kind of motivation, try to keep that balance, to enjoy life and keep the balance.
It's so important, especially now. There's so much. I'm sat on a hustle cushion. There's so much of this all the time, isn't there? Like 24/7 hustle, grind.
Yes.
It's kind of almost cool now to say that, although most people don't actually hustle and do it all. Most people aren't doing it 24/7 like they're trying to make you think they are.
Yeah.
But it's really cool that you actually say, well, actually, the right thing to do is try and have some balance.
Try to, yes, exactly.
Try being
it's very
the operative word.
Trying to, especially with today's world, with the social media and what's happening with the internet. It's just incredible how everything is just so fast, and the time difference. You're
just available 24/7 basically now, aren't you?
Absolutely. So you need to try to have, and having right people on board could be a great way to do that. Having your people with passion as you have, with the care and love that you have for your business. If you have those right people on board, I think that would be really a great way to try to achieve that, to try to make that balance, because otherwise your business grows. You will end up become busier and busier. But if you have got the right team, being able to dedicate those responsibilities and trust them and let them do it, that's I think would be advice to try key. I think so. That would be one of
totally agree with you.
Yes.
So in MiPA and a lot of the TV episodes that I always talk about pieces of software, apps, things that make your life easier. So we're big fans of things like Asana internally. We use Trello for clients, all sorts of different apps that we use. Is there anything in your business or even in your life that is like an app or a piece of software that you can't live without, the one thing that you use most?
Yes, well, me and my wife and with my people that I work with usually use an application called. There are so many things out there, and I'm not very tech, so I'm not the best person to ask a question. It's not my strength. I recently just ended up having Facebook because of my wife, because of business, because otherwise I didn't even have a Facebook.
Good for you.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's good, but it's incredible because it's using these social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook actually for business. It's very useful because it's free, and also a lot of people learn about your business through them. My customer in New York, distributor in New York, found us through our Instagram page, and they're one of our biggest customers. Yeah, that's why.
That's amazing.
Yes, exactly. So they put these. I don't know, but my wife looks after that, and you put these hashtags, and then suddenly somehow they ended up in their hand, and somebody shared and somebody liked. So they come to, we love your product, we love your images. Who is this Masumi Headwear? And can you please?
Oh my gosh!
So please send us some information, and that's it. That's how it happened. But that's why I am very fascinated with it now, and although I don't get involved with it, but I think it's a very special, important thing to take advantage of these free platforms and apps and social media platforms that they're out there. But the one I use, I mean, it's not really high tech, and probably you may have heard. It's called Time Tree, which is this app that I use. That you basically connect with the other users, so that if they have got the same app, and then you could share your time. So, for example, if I'm away on holiday or on a business trip, so they will then I put it on my app, and then my colleague will know, and you could basically have. For example, one related to one staff or another to another staff, so you don't have to have one general for everybody. So you will kind of share your time together, so they know what I do and I know what they do. So
I've never heard
called
of that.
Time Tree.
I will have a look. So do you use that with your team internally?
Yes, I use that with my team, and I use that with my wife for our personal. So when she's telling me, "Where have you been? You were supposed to be at home." I'm like, sweetheart, come on! I put it in Time Tree. Don't get me. Don't take me down here. So yeah, it's quite useful,
Brilliant. Okay, I'll have a look at that.
Yeah. Yes.
So obviously with the kind of service that we provide, we're big fans of Tim Ferriss. I don't know if you've ever read the 4-Hour Workweek.
Yes.
So he wrote a book where basically he just spends 4 hours working because everything else is outsourced in his business. If you were just going to spend 4 hours a week in your business, what one task or responsibility would you focus on? Like, what do you think is the most important thing? If your team were going to focus on everything else, and you just had 4 weeks to work in Avakino, 4 hours to work in Avakino a week, what would you focus on?
Getting touch base with my customers.
Oh, really?
Yes. My focus needs to be always try to make sure that what my customers think, I will be out there seeing my customers. This is one of my biggest strengths, making that face-to-face relationship with my customer and trying to build my relationship, because it's so important to understand what your customers' needs are. So I usually out there. As soon as I get the opportunity to be able to do something, which has got to be really always my priority. But as you know, you got your own business, you got so much to look at, your accounts, your cash flow, your stock, and your staff, and so on. But you really go out, see your customers, and of course, making sure that you understand what their needs are, and in order to then liaise with your team and try to create something right.
I love that. So that's just like focusing on your existing customer base as well. It's not even sales orientated or getting new customers. It's just about
existing and
loving the ones that you have already.
Existing, yes, because obviously, as you know, retaining your existing customers is most important, because that's how your business really grow, and that's where you make sure that because if you lose one, that's basically it's big. It's as if you're trying to find 10 new ones.
Yeah.
So that's a key, as well as that trying to find the new ones. There's so much out there. You got to try to explore. I mean, all around the world, you can, it's just incredible. It's depending on what business you're in, but with our business, unfortunately, it's a necessity. So people lose hair because of cancer, because of alopecia, and it's a disease that's been there, and it's unfortunate, despite the fact there's a lot of awareness out there, it still is growing and spreading. So Australia, Japan, New Zealand, America, these are all the untouched markets for us. So we need to go out there and really make people aware about Masumi and so on. So this is we need to try to focus on growing and making people aware about our brand.
Amazing, I love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So if there's people watching this interview now who are working on their own, who maybe, they might have had their business for a long time and they're just feeling quite stressed and maxed out with time, or maybe they're just starting it but they're on their own. Yeah. What is the one piece of advice you would give them?
Don't be on your own. Try to try, because you feel like you're
it's simple, but it's right.
Yeah, you always see that you feel like you're on your own. Everyone like us, we start business, we are on our own at one stage. So try to go out there and network, try to be out and about, try to meet other people, because that's what drives you. Networking is very important. So I think if you got an opportunity to go out there and network with other people, other businesses, other entrepreneurs, there's a lot of events are going out there in Eventbrite, for example. You can find out, and go out there and network with people, other like-minded people, and try to and remind yourself that you are not alone, and that gives you the motivation and keeps you going. Don't try to think, oh my gosh, I am on my own, because there are also out there help, and this is, to just sit down and to have a chat with other people like-minded, you're an entrepreneur, we sit down together and we have a chat and exchange ideas, and there are a lot of times, people have got the same problems, and you can share that together and you can overcome that. So I would say networking, going out there, seeing people, and if you get the time, I think that's a very important part. I would recommend them to do. It's
really important. And I think you find out that the people, you have the same issues as the person who's got 20 staff or 50 staff to the person who's on his own. You still have, they might be amplified in different ways, but you all still face the same issues and problems as a business owner, don't you?
Absolutely. So you need to share in that and try to exchange ideas, sharing it would be, it helps you a lot in order for you to be able to find a solution, try to overcome that stress and anxiety, and and get ideas to push the business on. Yes, exactly. It's tough to running your own business is very tough. It's very, very tough. But you're in it. You want to make it happen. You have to work hard. You need to keep positive, because it's you need to have that drive, and you need to try to hang around with the right-minded people. Business Growth Hub is a great organization.
That's Manchester-based.
So this is based in Manchester, but there are other organizations similar to that based, around the UK. And if you contact the Gov UK, the call center for new business entrepreneurs, and they could advise you who to go to locally.
Okay.
There are organizations like Virgin startup group, so they help people with entrepreneurs. So you get a one-to-one mentor who could help you to whenever you come across the problems. They have got a network of people they could put you in contact with, and so on and so on. So I would recommend that as well.
Totally agree. The sooner you can build your network, well, as you say, your network is your net worth, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Really helps you in business.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of times I have asked you for a lot of good contacts you have put through to me, and you have asked me.
Vice versa,
it's all about knowing the right people and try to help one another, because that's the only way to grow. To share and try to support one another to grow, and that's it. That's like you said, it's a very important thing.
Lovely.
It's very valuable. So
thank you. A fabulous piece of advice.
Yes, thank you.
Ali, it's been absolutely tremendous having you on the sofa today.
It's been a pleasure. What happened to Ralph? That's all I want to know. He got bored. No. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It's been lovely to have you here, and I hope today has given you loads of tips and pieces of advice to get your head out of the dirt and into the clouds. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.